Do you
I have
think?
no problem with it. At the time, I did, you know.
Do you think the rock stars are good people to look up to?
Does, though. He's got an explanation behind that.
Yeah. What? The rock stars?
It's a beautiful explanation. It seems like a strange thing to say.
It is? I mean, who else are you going to look up to? The president? Or, you know?
There you go.
Who? My dick, I got a boner in the middle of the show and it just popped right through my underwear.
Hi. My name is Leonie. This will be my first YouTube video ever. And today I'm going to be doing my makeup while I talk about John Frusciante because I love him. I was really pushed to make this video because I get really hyperfixated on certain things that I love or like, and John Frusciante is one of those people. I get really like obsessive about things like this that intrigue me. Like I want to know everything about them, their childhood, their traumas, like social security number, you know what I mean? And John Frusciante is one of those things or people, and I have a lot of information about him. And it's not that easy to get all of this information about him, as he's a very like close, like to himself person. I love John Frusciante. He is super down to earth. Like in all of the footage that you have of him since he was like 17 till now 2025, I love him a lot. I love him so much. Anywho, I'm gonna get this started. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing my makeup. I already washed my face. I put on like moisturizer, sunscreen. I just got out of work, so I'm really doing this just for the video, just so I have something to do, you know. So John Anthony Frusciante was born March 5th, 1970. If I keep looking down, I have notes here. In Queens, New York. He has 11 solo albums and 7 EPs, mixtapes, whatever you want to call that. I use cheap makeup, by the way, at the moment, because I don't do my makeup often. And so I don't even know if anybody's gonna be watching this, but anywho, this is what I use for primer. It's good. I have acne, so the pink one is really good. A lot of people love this. And the regular one is really good too. This one just has stuff for acne, basically. It has 4% niacinamide. So yeah. His dad is also named John Frusciante. John Frusciante M. Augustus. He's a Juilliard trained pianist, his father. He then became a lawyer, then circuit judge in Florida. This is gonna be bad. These are some of the stuff that I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm still getting them to you. I'm gonna be looking down. Sorry. My setup fell. His mother is Gail Bruno. She's an amazing vocalist. She gave up that to be a mommy to the amazing John Frusciante that we know and love. They first lived in Tucson, Arizona, and soon moved to Florida. When he was born, around 7 to 9 years old, his mom and stepfather moved to Mar Vista, LA, around there. Yeah, around that time of age, parents separated when he was young. His stepfather was very good and supportive to him. His stepfather was also a musician, if I'm not wrong. John Frusciante loved the Germs when he was like growing up. He loved like everything, like punk. He loved punk. John Frusciante loved the Germs. He took a lot of inspiration from Frank Zappa, Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page. I love Jimmy Page too. He's a hottie. The Velvet Underground as well. Who doesn't love the Velvet Underground? I'm using this. This is green stuff. So John Frusciante loved punk music when he was growing up. When he was like 15, he began taking guitar lessons. Whenever he had free time, he would practice at home. Like that was like his hobby. He went through like 2 guitar teachers, I think that's what you would call it. He didn't like them because when he would bring up like punk music, they were like, oh, like that's shit basically. And they were more just like classical and like jazz, like they weren't really his style, and he wanted a teacher that was more his style. He got to his 3rd guitar teacher. Is that what you would call it? Tutor? A guy who teaches guitar lessons. He got to his 3rd one, and he was thought this guy was good enough. I don't have the name of him. I'm sure he probably said it in this one interview that he actually mentioned it at all. I'm using this. This is really good and it's full coverage. I don't use foundation. I just use concealer all over my face. I don't know if that's bad or whatever, but yeah. So with this one guy that he was compatible with, he liked him. They could talk about similar music that they enjoyed, and long and behold, one of those bands that they both showed interest in was Red Hot Chili Peppers. So he had this one guitar teacher. They were very compatible, very good together, you know, because they had more similar interests in music and similar views on music. John Frusciante soon joined one band, the Loneliest Monsters. And I believe about 2 hours after joining that band, he was asked to join Red Hot Chili Peppers. How did this happen? So Flea had met John Frusciante at a local show. The Red Hot Chili Peppers were very big in the LA scene at the time. They made, I guess at the time, like funky rock music, you know, whatever. His guitar teacher tried out for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They did not take him back when Hello Slovak passed away. Hello Slovak, if you don't know who he was the past Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist, and he had passed away from a heroin overdose, and he was very good. He was a very, very, very good guitarist, and John actually looked up to him a lot. John longed for the rock star like lifestyle and whatnot at the time. I mean, he was only 17, 18 years old during this time period. John Frusciante was obsessed with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, by the way, when he was like 17. He loved them so much, learned all of their songs. Not too long after his death, Red Hot Chili Peppers was looking for a new guitarist. Like I said, his guitar teacher actually tried out for them. He did not make the cut, obviously. John Frusciante also auditioned. This happened, I believe, because they met at a show. Flea and John Frusciante met at a show, and they started like jamming together, and it was like they had immense like how do you say that? I have the word at the tip of my tongue. They had an immense energy together. They like had amazing vibes, and they jammed amazing chemistry. They had immense chemistry, okay? You know, Flea really liked him. Flea liked John Frusciante a lot. So Anthony has not met John Frusciante yet. Not too long after this that they jammed together, Hello Slovak passed away, and like I said, they were looking for a new guitarist. John Frusciante had called Flea one day, you know, just to jam, see how he was doing, and Flea picked up, frustrated, upsettingly, explaining, you know, like, our guitarist just passed, like, you know, can we talk another time? Sorry about that. And one day, John Frusciante gets a call from Flea. He says, yo, come and audition for us. Like, you know, I want my people to see you, or Anthony Kiedis, in this situation, you know, and try out. Because, like I said, Flea had immense chemistry with John Frusciante. Like, they jammed very well together. So, he came, he did his thing, and Anthony loved it. Obviously, because he's fucking amazing. Oh, this is too much lighting for me. I'm sorry, y'all. You know, and of course, when John was able to jam with Flea, he was freaking psyched, okay? Jamming with one of his idols. He felt amazing, you know, invincible. He felt awesome. Like, I believe he was still 17 at this age. Flea was telling Anthony Kiedis, like, trust, like, this guy is fucking awesome. He auditioned for him. John was turning 18 soon around this time. He dropped out of high school with an okay by his parents, like, and he passed, like, the test that they need to, like, still get GED, whatever. And he did that just so that he could pursue music, because he loved music so much. He was really young and just loved music. Like, when he was like 11, he would just be jamming in the guitar shops and whatnot, showing off his skills, and people would be like, whoa, like, look at this little kid, like, fucking playing Jimi Hendrix, you know? That's nuts.
Looking at your record collection, I was wondering where the Hendrix records are.
A lot of them are over there. Used to be like, in 7th grade, I would walk into music stores and just everybody would think I was an amazing guy because I was about this tall and I could play all these Hendrix songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix is not easy to play, by the way. The guitar, period, is not easy to play. Age 10, he loved the Germs. He learned every single song from the GI album. He bought even multiple copies, by the way, of this album or mixtape, whatever. He loved the Germs so much when he was like a preteen. He, at some point in his life, he auditioned for Frank Zappa. That didn't work out because, well, he said no, actually, not just Frank Zappa. Okay, Frank Zappa didn't say no. John Frusciante was like, no, because like I mentioned earlier, he really wanted the rock star lifestyle. Like, that's what he was looking forward to. Like, he wanted the bitches, he wanted the drugs, like, and, you know, just, I haven't even done my freaking eyebrows yet. Normally I do my eyebrows first, but like I said, this is my first YouTube video. Like, I'm just all over the place, honestly. It's really hard. Shit is not easy. For my eyebrows, I just use like black eyeliner and an eyebrow brush, and yeah, I dye my hair black, so I like the dark eyebrows. So back to the jam with Flea. Okay, the jam with Flea went well. I took on John Frusciante. I gotta do my eyebrows real quick off camera. Red Hot Chili Peppers would come out with Mother's Milk. Okay, I'm back. So I use Fit Me concealer under my eyes, by the way, as well as to outline my eyebrows and clean them up. I get this in a lighter shade, obviously, than the one I use for my face. But yeah. Okay. So he eventually got into the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They got Chad Smith, and Red Hot Chili Peppers came out with Mother's Milk. This was on 8/16/1989. Okay, this was way before I was even thought of. Like, my dad was literally born 8 years prior to that. Okay, they dropped that with EMI Records. His dream came true. He was freaking rocking out with amazing friends because they all had amazing chemistry, and in not just with his friends but with a band that he idolized. He loves the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Okay, so for this to happen to him, this is like amazing. Can you imagine that? Like, being surrounded by, like, literally you're playing on stage with your favorite band that you always dreamed of. Like, he knew it was gonna happen and he made it happen, you know what I'm saying? The Red Hot Chili Peppers are growing huge at this time. I don't know if there was like any immense hits off of Mother's Milk, but they're growing even bigger. Okay, my dad interrupted me. They are becoming freaking huge. He's getting everything he's ever wanted, the rock star lifestyle, like I was just mentioning earlier. They begin working on Blood Sugar Sex Magic with Rick Rubin. They worked on it in like this haunted house, which is really interesting. There's this whole like Blood Sugar Sex Magic documentary of like them filming the whole time. I believe Chad Smith was the only one who didn't stay in the house for the recording. Like, he only came to record and went back home, just because I think like he didn't mess with that stuff. Like, it was a haunted house. Like, I don't remember if it was the same I don't think it was the same house that Sharon Tate was killed in, but it was a haunted house. Like, people have died there and it's haunted. Like, it's known to be haunted, and he was not fucking with that shit, okay? Like I said, his dreams came true. He's literally working with this group that he idolized so much. He joined this band when he was only 17 years old, which is freaking amazing, okay? I'm letting everything out. By the way, I normally do my eyebrows first, and like spot like whatever I need to, let it sit. But this is hard, like making a YouTube video. Anyways, here I am. I didn't mention this, but this is actually, to me, a funny detail. His guitar teacher who was giving him lessons, who also tried out for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, because he also loved the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He tried out, and you know, he went to one of John's like first few shows with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he kind of was like trying to give him like criticism about it, you know. I don't know if he was really being disrespectful about it. He didn't go into it like that, but he was like, oh, you could have did this better, you could have done this. And you know, John kind of resented him for this, because he was like, you know, you auditioned and you didn't make it, so like, who are you to tell me? Like, you know, he says what's up, whatever, but you know, for that to be the first thing that he tells him, it's just kind of messed up. And he hadn't talked to him ever since. And I totally get that. I'm the same way, because it's like, bro, like, you didn't make the audition, so who are you? You know, they love him, they took him on, they didn't take you on, you know what I mean? There's like a hair somewhere, I feel it. So Blood Sugar Sex Magic is huge. You should know it's huge if you're even watching this. Blood Sugar Sex Magic was huge. They had a lot of hits on there. It was a huge success in general, okay? It's a huge success. Even more into rock star status. Red Hot Chili Peppers is growing huge, okay? After Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Do watch the documentary, by the way. It's literally on YouTube. It's like an hour and a half long, maybe like 2 hours. John Frusciante is having trouble kind of accepting like all of this fame. He really just wanted to be playing with his most favorite band, and not just that, but his friends that he has connections with, amazing like connection with. He loves music, and that's like his biggest passion. Yeah, he wanted the rock star lifestyle, but he did not expect to get this huge. Nor did he really want to. I don't think he really knew nor expected this at all. So Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers began to tour. So they're touring. John isn't good at communicating either. Well, this makes it even harder, but like I said, he's having trouble with accepting their fame. Like, he has a girlfriend at the time. Her name is like Tanya Oswald. There's not much about her on the internet, which I wish there was, but there's like one article. There's a few like things that like continue to say the exact same things about her, because you only hear about her a couple times, you know. He doesn't even really like bring her up either. There's this one Q&A from 2004 that he released like off like what's that thing, like a beeper? I forgot what that's called. Those things that they had a long time ago. Not that one as well, but a pager, like a pager, whatever, something like that. I don't know, just some recording thing. He didn't call her by her name. He just said, oh, this girl I was talking to at the time, or like, I don't know, some bullshit. Anywho, he starts doing more drugs at this time, and you know, obviously the Red Hot Chili Peppers were doing drugs during this time period. When Hello passed away, I believe they were trying to refrain from that, and they went back to that coping mechanism, whatever you want to call that for them. Referencing Anthony Kiedis and Flea. If you don't know about their whole life story, I can totally make a video about that. I read Flea's memoir, which was really good. If you never read it, you totally should. It was really good. He has this girlfriend, and he loves his girlfriend. He feels like they two both feel like they've never met anybody who loves music as much as they do. They just love music, and they have similar views on life. You know, everything, me personally, that I would want to find in my significant other. It's really beautiful, and they shared an amazing connection. But they would just lock themselves in a room. John Frusciante would lock himself in a room and just play music with her all day. And this was even while they were touring. Eventually they're like, oh, no girlfriends while touring, like, and he couldn't really, like, he did not fuck with that. He did not like that, because that's kind of his whole world, is just music and being around the people he loves, and the rock star life was just too much for him. All of this rock star, like, the popularity that they got isn't really what he wanted. And like I said, he was a poor communicator, so he didn't, like, straight up tell them. He would just shame, like, everybody else for, like, liking the rock star lifestyle, and he was just kind of a drag at this point. This is 1990, I believe, 1991, whenever they released Blood Sugar Sex Magic, and they were touring for it. And he would kind of just shame the other band members and just kind of be a drag, which makes me a little sad about him, or just about how he was. But, you know, he was so young, especially compared to his bandmates. He literally just got out of high school and thrown out into become a rock star, you know? All he really wanted was to play small shows with his bestest mates. Over the time till 1992, he was very uncomfy with the fame. He did not like it at all. And like I said, he was just kind of a drag to be around. Not the nicest pal. You know, it wasn't the same John Frusciante that they once knew that just loved to play music, but that's because he wasn't very communicative. That's not really what he wanted. He didn't want to be big. You know, he was a very simple man. He didn't need money. You know, he didn't need fame. Like, that's not really what he was looking for. He was just looking to play music with his best mates and enjoy life. The bestest parts of life, what life really has to offer, you know what I'm saying? There is a crazy live show. Mind you, during all of this time period, he is getting super strung out on drugs. He's doing drugs like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but I also literally have no subscribers, so I don't know if it really matters, but he's doing blow, he's doing H, okay, speed, the two together, okay, that was his drug of choice. And, you know, it's really sad. He would just lock himself in a room, and him and Tony would just, she would play her flute, I believe, and he would play, like, some other instrument. He was very uncomfy with the fame. John is just driven by art, specifically just art. He loves art. He loves music. It's not specifically rock music. Eventually, later on in his life, he does branch out to other types of music. If you know him now, he's doing electronic music with his wife at the moment. And he was just driven by art. It wasn't the fame, it wasn't the money, it was none of that stuff, you know? He just loved art and music. It was so important to him, and I totally get that. I love music and I love art. I love anything that has to do with it. He would dedicate his life to music. He knew he wasn't going to enjoy touring, but he did it still. He would claim that he had kind of like this voice in his head. He had these voices, and he would hear them even in the Blood Sugar Sex Magic house, in the, yeah, just telling him, like, you gotta go, you have to go now, you have to go now before it's too late, you have to go, you're gonna die doing this, shit like that. That has to be terrifying, right? He knew he wasn't gonna enjoy touring, but he did it anyway. There's this crazy clip on YouTube where it's in 1992. Search up 1992 SNL Red Hot Chili Peppers performance. It was the Under the Bridge performance, and that is insane. He is clearly strung up on H, and it's really sad to watch, as I love this man. There was like a kick in there, but by Anthony, he kicked John Frusciante, and I'm sure it was an accident. And he's kind of just like, in that performance, he is retaliating the whole thing. He is, well, you know, it wasn't really said, but he is retaliating. Like, he does not want to be in this big band. He doesn't want to do this. He is upset with his bandmates, but it's more something within himself. He does not want to speak up. It is within him. He was kind of just upset with everybody else. He didn't want to do this. He, like I said, was just a drag. And it really sucked to see him like this. He fucks up the whole performance. I believe they even, like, they stopped and they redid it again. because it was so bad. He fucked it up really bad. His guitar sounds like it's out of key, out of tune. He's playing so freaking slow. Chad, you see Chad in the background, he's like, what the fuck? Like, ain't no fucking way. It's pretty sad, honestly. And, you know, like, sad to see my boo like this. I'm using Too Faced chocolate bronzer. It smells so good, I would eat it. I'm hitting the pan. This shit is good. I just use this like on my cheekbones and then like my forehead to make it smaller. And I like looking tan. As much as I like looking pale, I like being tan. You know? Eventually, in Japan, he let them know that he could not do it anymore. The voices were telling him, and they would not stop, that he was going to die doing this if he continued and didn't leave. And this was 1992, and then in 1994, he was very close to dying. 1994, yeah. In 1994, he was very close to dying. It was really, really bad. There is a German interview out there on YouTube. 1994 was basically the peak of his addiction, actually. My apologies. I believe 1996 is when he was starting to get help. But 1994 was the peak of his addiction. River Phoenix. Okay. So, River Phoenix passed on Halloween 1993. There is this documentary. It's more of a short film by John Frusciante. We have Timothy Leary in there, as well as Johnny Depp helped do this. And the short film was called Stuff. I believe it's like a 15 minute video, and it kind of shows the state of John Frusciante's house at the time. Like I said, this was the peak of his addiction. Why I brought up River Phoenix, he passed away in Halloween of 1993 at the Johnny Depp's, the Viper Room, I believe it's called, nightclub. And the reason why this is important is because if you watch this documentary or short film stuff, you will see that his room is in distraught. Not room, his home is in distraught. It's very graphic. Like, there is a bathroom scene where you can see blood on the bathroom, like, tub next to the toilet. If you know what that means, you do. If you don't, I'm happy you don't. And do not try to figure it out either. And, you know, people say that the reason River Phoenix died was, so he died from an overdose at the nightclub on Halloween. And people say that the person who gave him the substances was John Frusciante. This is only speculated. It's not confirmed exactly. River Phoenix went into the bathroom, did some drugs with somebody, or that somebody gave him, and he died of a drug overdose, where his sister was there. I believe his girlfriend at the time was there. So that was very sad. And he passed away. But people say that there was like a jealous guitarist. Some people think it was also Johnny Depp. But some people say about this documentary or short film labeled Stuff was made to claim that John Frusciante was insane in case he was charged with this I guess homicide. That, or it was because they knew that he was going to die soon because of the state that he was in. He was like strung out often, and like if you see him in this 1994 interview that I was mentioning earlier, he was in very bad condition. He was very skinny. He didn't even look like the same person. And people said that it was basically like a tribute, just to show like the state of mind that he was in before he died, basically. So not too long after 1994, there's a crazy interview. I believe he may be promoting Neandra Des in just a t-shirt, but I'm not too sure about that. I don't think so. I think he dropped that before. The reason he even dropped that was because he needed money for drugs. He wasn't getting much money anymore from Red Hot Chili Peppers, obviously, because he's not even playing with them anymore. Red Hot Chili Peppers got Dave Navarro at this time, which didn't have much chemistry and they were kind of shit. But anyhow, not for me to say. This 1994 interview was pretty crazy. German. It was like a German interview or something. It's like John Frusciante 1994 V Pro. If you search that up, you will find that on YouTube, and you will see the state that he was in. He was strung out in the video, I would say, and it was kind of sad. I mean, it's just sad to see somebody that I love like that, because you know he was very close to dying there. Earlier, before Red Hot Chili Peppers, John met Tony Oswald. He said it was like looking at someone and seeing yourself. Isn't that fucking beautiful? They lived together. They were like symbiosis. Like, they just were so good together. They, like I said, it felt like they understood each other. It was like they found each other in each other, and they just bonded over a lot of things. Sorry I keep jumping from like little things. This is kind of chaotic, but I love this. They lived like in symbiosis. They would wear each other's clothes. John Frusciante kind of identified as like gender fluid, I would say, like around this time. They would wear each other's clothes, drink red wine, and just paint. They would lock themselves in a hotel and play music together. Red Hot Chili Peppers is huge. And like I said earlier, no girlfriends on tour, okay? Blood Sugar Sex Magic at this time has already sold 13 million copies, okay? He is still off the rails. He is okay with dying at this point. In the 1994 V Pro interview that I was mentioning, he says he's okay with dying. He's like explaining how he doesn't care if he's a junkie. Like, he is fine doing what he's doing and he is happy, basically, which is kind of sad. I mean, you know, you should be happy. If that's what you're happy doing, then so be it. But he was not really happy. He had demons, you know? He made Neon Death to make money to fuel his addiction. It was very eerie. The last two tracks on the album are very, 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 very disturbing to me, at least. They just really remind me of what someone's downfall sounds like. I hope you can make sense of that. If you can, just fucking listen to it. I think it's like Untitled 15 and 16 or something like that, 13 and 14. Just the last tracks on the album. Some of these tracks he actually did write while with Red Hot Chili Peppers still. And then the rest are like, I guess he made before them and just never came out with these. But it's a disturbing, to me it's disturbing, because once again, I love this guy, and it's just sad to see him in this state, and I am so glad that he is obviously way beyond that. So I'm putting on Blush. Is the NARS Blush. This is Orgasm X. This one's good. I think this one has, I mean, I've never used the regular Orgasm one, but people love that. But this one has more of like a peachy tone, and it's more iridescent. I love it. I think I was talking about Neon Death. I feel like that this album shows like what state of mind that he was in at the time, and the album itself just literally sounds like somebody killing themselves. I feel like that's what it sounds like, and as sad as it is, but that literally is what it was. Neon Death was like his alter ego. It was also from a movie, like a really old classical movie, I believe, but I'm not too sure about that. Don't quote me on that, please. It's from a movie. I know that. I read that in like this one article that Tony Oswald was talking. In this 1994 interview, V Pro, like, he speaks like this, and like if he was sober, he would never say these things. And even like, and I'm saying before the rock star like life, like, he would never be saying these things, and it's so sad to be hearing this guy be saying these things like that, because, you know, he's loved, admired, and, you know, he's just basically saying he wouldn't care if he died, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's really sad to me, okay? Okay, my face makeup is done. Can you believe that? I can't even believe that I was able to do this. I thought it was gonna stop. This is crazy. November 22, 1994. He is severely depressed, John Frusciante, okay? He's isolated, like, at the peak of his addiction. As I said prior, he talks about, like, Kurt Cobain and his death and says, like, oh, I don't even care, like, I don't know why some guy would even be doing that, doing drugs or kill himself when he has a kid in his life or whatever. Like, why wouldn't you want to take care of your kid? Like, dude, you know, it's just crazy. He would not even speak of Kurt Cobain like that if he was sober, like, because he actually loves Kurt Cobain's music, or at least he did at a time period, and he talks about that in a sober interview, but he was just completely down talking him in this interview where he is strung out, which, yeah, it's sad. He talks about death in this 1994 interview with V-Pro. I think V-Pro is like the name of the interviewer or whatever. I don't really know. He down talks people, kind of just like yapping. And in 1998, John Frusciante is back. Let me just say one quick note. John Frusciante was spending $500 daily on drugs. By 1998, or around that time, he owed $30,000 to his drug dealer. Very sad. And they helped pay that stuff off in 1998, as well as getting him skin grafts, and because his skin had like so many burns from like cigarettes, just cigarette ash falling on him, like from, oh, I probably shouldn't do that, that's rude. Stuff like that. He had to get new teeth. And also he was just so skinny. Like, he had, I believe, only 1/8 of the blood that his body really needs. They do say something like that in interviews and articles. But yeah, he is recovering and he is back in 1997 thanks to his friends, mostly Flea. They helped him get sober. Hi, I'm back. I put on mascara. Oh, and I put my hair out. John's house caught on fire in 1998. It began in the room where he had all his paintings. It started in the room where he had all his paintings, and with that being said, a lot of them caught on fire. All of his guitars, except I believe 2, were burned to ashes, unfortunately. He was napping. Tony Oswald, his girlfriend at the time, she was in New York when this happened. So she wasn't there. He was sleeping at the time when everything caught fire. He went to a neighbor's house, called like firefighters. The blaze blew out his windows, which is actually what woke him up. This was all, I believe, 2 days after recording the Circa stuff. After recording that documentary or short film, whatever you want to call that. He had to get skin graft. He went into recovery in 1998. Californication eventually went out during, I believe, 1998. He went on with his life and soon leaves Red Hot Chili Peppers again. I believe he rejoined in 2024, sorry. He joined again like 2010 or 2012 or something like that. Left again and then joins again in 2024. But yeah, that is what made John Frusciante the man we all know and love today. I don't really care much about like anything after that, because that was all after he experienced and basically like progressed his life. Of course, we are always progressing every single day. We're always learning more about ourselves. That timeline was the most important to me. I apologize that this was just so like all over the place. This is my first YouTube video, and I hope you guys liked it. I didn't even do highlighter. See, I'm like all over the place. Oh, not even at my fullest potential yet. Okay, I am done with my makeup. I look so cute. Thank you for watching. This was a very hectic video for me to make because I've never like had to talk while doing my makeup and had to remember things, even though I literally didn't. I was looking at my notes the whole time, but thank you for sticking with me. And yeah, have a good life, everyone. I don't know if I'll be back. Hope you guys like my makeup though. Peace.